Welcome to Godfall 101. This is Steve, and in this course we'll be covering all things Godfall, the latest looter shooter, or slasher looter, from developer Counterplay Games. We'll cover all the news, leaks, stories, studio developments, hot takes, guides, and much more in the lead up to the game launch this holiday season. Some people might be asking, why Godfall? So Godfall caught my eye for two simple reasons. Huge ornate suits of armor, and massive swords that a normal person cannot possibly wield. So from an art direction point of view, I was hooked. Then we found out that the game is going to be a looter slasher. That name might need some work. And now I'm intrigued. So the looter genre is not an easy genre to dive into. From Destiny, The Division, Warframe, Anthem, Borderlands, Diablo, Monster Hunter World, and a bunch of other games that are trying their hand at this genre, it's not an easy thing to jump into. Now, all of these titles had their fair share of struggles. Some more than others, and one thing remains true. Players love their looters. We love seeing numbers go up and dressing our digital dolls. So we listed some very well-known and experienced developer studios. Bungie, Ubisoft, Blizzard, Capcom, BioWare. Studios with large teams and long histories. Studios we trust. So, who is Counterplay Games, and why should we trust them? And what should we expect? Well, in order to do that, I think we need to look at the past and the leader of Counterplay Games, Keith Lee. Not that far back. Keith has been in the industry for over 14 years. His resume includes the following. Insomniac Games, he worked on Ratchet & Clank from 2003 to 2006. Blizzard Entertainment worked on Diablo 3 from 2006 to 2008. You may remember seeing Keith's name during the whole Diablo 3 color controversy. I'm sure we all remember that dark or bright time in our past. He was then the CEO and co-founder of Booyah Games. They worked on a game called My Town from 2008 and 2012. It was a real-time social networking application where you buy and sell real-world property. Keith left Booyah in 2011 before My Town 2 released. And as of March 2014, Booyah went out of business and shut down its website and all of its servers. And then in 2013, Keith becomes the CEO and co-founder of Counterplay Games, the developer of Godfall. So let's take a look at Counterplay Games' website so we can get a little better understanding of who this team really is. So on their website it says, we're a tight-knit 75-person team with the vision to craft games focused on high levels of personal mastery. Drawing from our past experience working on the Ratchet & Clank series, God of War, Destiny 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, Diablo 3, Gears 5, Star Wars Battlefront, Titanfall 2, Left 4 Dead 2, Evolve, Halo 5, Battlefield 3, BioShock Infinite, Call of Duty, Injustice 2, and Overwatch. So that's one impressive list of titles that these developers have worked on. So let's talk about the one game that Counterplay Games has launched, and that's Duelist. In April of 2014, Counterplay Games launched a Kickstarter for a collectible card game called Duelist. It raised $137,000. And they switched from an upfront model to a free-to-play model in 2015, believing that the free-to-play model would allow for more regular updates. So after their Kickstarter, in April 2016, the game launches on Steam. It goes on to have 6 different expansions. It had the Denizens of Shimzar in August 2016, Rise of the Bloodborne in December of 2016, The Ancient Bonds in March 2017, Unearthed Prophecy, July 2017, Immortal Vanguard in November of 2017, and then Trial of Mithron in November of 2018. Now in the middle of all those expansions, in July 14th of 2017, Counterplay Games partners with Bandai Namco, and Bandai Namco takes over the marketing of the game. And then after Trial of Mithron releases November in 2018, reading on the internet and the forums for Duelist, it appears that development had kind of more or less stopped on the game. There were several events going on, some tournaments, but reading from a lot of the players from the Duelist forums, you get the sense that communication stopped and so did development, and it left a lot of players leaving questioning what was going on with the game. So February 1st of 2019, Richard Haney, former head of organized play on Duelist, now a producer on Godfall, speaks to the Duelist community on Reddit. And after some kind words to the community and reminiscing about past Duelist events, he says, "Bringing on a publisher for Duelist naturally creates a transitional period where lots of pieces of the machine shift in order to ensure both parties best meet the needs of this community. The purpose of the publishing partnership was to bring that same passion to a much wider audience. We made some strong initial headway, but weren't able to grow our audience to the level that meet the expectations of both our companies. Counterplay Games needed to keep the lights on, and Bandai Namco needed to redistribute resources to other projects." Now this statement sounds like we just kind of had to change. We weren't making money and we needed to do something different, and Bandai Namco needed to make money and they needed to do something different. Collectible card games are a tough genre to break into. Hearthstone has been dominating that scene for a really long time. They've had competitors like Shadowverse, Feria, Gwent, Hex, Eternal, Elder Scrolls Legends, and now, currently, things are changing to where, the auto chess is becoming a competitor to that genre, or an alternative to that genre, and it's really hard. Duelist and Shardbound were doing some really interesting things. Gorgeous games. Shardbound was having all this Twitch integration that was trying to bring more people in. But unfortunately, if you're not making money, you can't keep doing what you're doing. So then development stops. Counterplay Games had even talked about a mobile port of the game, but only after work on a secret project, Project Aperion, was completed. So they still own the IP, and they can still do something with it in the future. But as of January 21st, 2020, they announced that the servers are going to be shut down. The announcement on their website reads, "Farewell, Duelists. We are saddened to announce that the Duelist servers will be shutting down permanently on February 27th, 2020 at 3 p.m. PST. Saying goodbye to any game is never easy, and it is always hardest when you love the game as much as we all love Duelist. We're incredibly proud of the effort our developers have put in on Duelist over the years, and even more proud of the amazing community of friends and gamers that have enjoyed Duelist. We want to thank all of you for being a part of the Duelist family, and for making our time working on Duelist the amazing adventure it has been. To celebrate the life of Duelist, we'll be making some changes to see the game out on its path to the sunset. Please see the service closure details below." So now that we know the end of the story of Duelist, we can look to Godfall. So sometime before August of 2018, Counterplay Games teases a new project to their community, Project Aperion. It's hard to find the actual announcement itself due to the website being updated with all the new info, but browsing the Duelist forums, you can find little tidbits of information on the tease and the feelings of the community. Like most announcements, it's a mixed bag of excitement and indifference. So September 13th of 2018, Polygon releases an article talking about Kowloon Knights, an indie game funding group, and their support of 10 different projects, one of which is Godfall. The group advertises itself as developer-friendly investment group. Kowloon Knights promises to let studios keep their intellectual property and sequel rights, and will remain completely hands-off in the development process. So I can imagine after working with Bandai Namco, whether a contentious relationship or not, having the funding and creative freedom to make the game you want probably sounded really good. In the article, Keith Lee says Godfall is a fantasy third-person online action title, and will get many team members back to their roots of working on larger projects, such as when he worked on Diablo and Ratchet & Clank series prior to starting Counterplay. The team had planned for a 2019 release. We know that is not going to happen. Other details from the forums had mentioned the game being a PvP and PvE focused, running on the Unreal Engine 4. We now know that the game is slated for a holiday 2020 launch, and we don't know much about PvP. Okay, so that's a quick history on Keith Lee and Counterplay Games. I hope this provides a little bit of context as we go forward learning about Godfall. I really believe it is important to remember the past so that we don't commit the same mistakes in the future. Godfall has an amazing amount of seasoned and talented developers, and I'm excited to see how their CCG roots shake the looter genre. Next time, we look over the Video Game Awards reveal trailer and gain some insight on how Valor Played actually works.